God didn't make Rambo. Podcasters made him. Because First Blood is coming up next.
Haven't Seen It with Tim Sestito and Tommy Tevene. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you all so much for listening today. This is a podcast where one of us is watching a movie for the very first time. And today, that is myself. Tommy, I believe you have seen Rambo First, or I guess it's just called First Blood. It's not even called Rambo First Blood.
No, I never saw this either. So this is my first time too.
And then for our special guest, Harrison Collins. Harrison, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining us here, longtime listener.
Thank you for having me.
Is this your
Very
first
excited.
time with First Blood as well?
First time at First Blood, first time experiencing Sylvester Stallone outside of boxing. It was very exciting.
You never see like any other Stallone movie outside of Rocky?
No. Now think about it. No, I don't think I've ever seen any other Sylvester Stallone movie outside of Rocky.
Most of them are trips. Most of them are like just crazy
What
dumb
was that?
action movies.
The one he comes back as a cop, Demolition Man.
Demolition Man's fun. Yeah, that one's
Demolition
fun.
Man's fun.
That's a great movie.
Would have fit our theme of Action Movie Month, which we are doing here on the podcast. Follow Aliens. Now we're doing First Blood here. Why is the movie we covered last week just escaping my memory?
The Running
here?
Man.
Running Man. The Running Man.
It's not
Here.
like a movie that immediately just went over your head. You're like,
We're doing
immediately out.
80s. We're doing 80s action movie. Yeah. Yeah, but this is we were just talking about this right before we recorded, but my brief summation of this is it's different than what you think the Rambo franchise is in the first one here, in this one. Like it's a pretty good movie with some really cool action sequences. I actually really enjoyed the setting of this movie. Like I feel like a lot of times movies in the woods are just like they're movies in the woods and they're filmed like somewhere in New England, somewhere in like someone's backyard. And this, or like you guys remember the street I grew up on with like that little forest, like that feels like a movie in the woods kind of kind of forest there. This felt more like it was like a unique setting, and I feel like it just kind of added atmosphere to this movie, and kind of helped probably what I would consider like a bit of an underwritten script, underbaked script. I feel like there's moments in this movie with Rambo where he like the whole summation of the movie at the end comes, and then the movie just like ends. You know,
the biggest pop song ever.
I know it didn't match the rest of the movie at all.
Yeah, it was just like, do we really need this like 80s ballad right now? That's just like completely like just deflates the ending of like Rambo, like just like really giving this emotional speech.
It feels like the kind of song that plays like when the director has to do a favor for like his brother-in-law. It's like, fine, I'll put you in the movie. Here's your song. And he's like, it's got to put it somewhere.
What's so funny is that Jerry Goldsmith, the guy who did the score, legendary composer, he like wrote that song at the end. So it's just like, what are you doing here, Jerry Goldsmith? I don't know if he sang it. I think some random 80s like temp singer sang it or something like that. But it's still
funny.
like Jerry fucking what's it called? Jerry Goldsmith. You did Star Trek. Why are you also doing this crazy stupid 80s ballad at the end of your movie?
That's awesome. To Timmy's point about the scenery, though, I kept on like thinking the woods reminded me of like Endor in Star Wars, and when he was hiding in like the trail, the railway in the middle of the forest. I honestly thought that was a base from Star Wars at first, because instead of like actually seeing trees, this seems weird to me.
Yeah, like very like it's what's great about shoot on location, and also the light in this movie. Like, there's so many good shots of like just seeing Stallone like being lit only by candlelight or like by a torch. And the way they like illuminate, it's like, oh, this looks fucking sick. So this is a fun first watch. But again, like Timmy said, it's so shocking that this is a franchise that ended up becoming an 80s Saturday morning cartoon. Like, can you imagine just like, oh, what's the cartoon my kid's watching? Oh yeah, the movie about the Vietnam vet who was suicidal. Like, can't adjust him.
He wasn't suicidal, man. Did you watch this movie? He's a hunter in the woods. You're being hunted.
It's just misunderstood.
He's misunderstood, but exactly. Can you imagine? Just be like, okay, like, so if we're just gonna watch Rambo, and this is a weird thing with '80s movies, right? Like RoboCop had an animated TV series. I think there's a couple others too that was just like, yeah, let's just turn the violent '80s action movie into a kids cartoon. They'll like it. It'll work totally fine.
which we definitely all watched while eating like Cheerios at like 7 years old, like not even realizing what we're watching.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember Beetlejuice was a cartoon when we were kids. That's a little different, but still.
Some good ABC 90s programming.
But overall, the first watch, I mean, like I think the Stallone gave a good performance. I only seen one of the sequels before this. The sequel I saw was the 2008 one, and that one's more just like balls to the wall what you think. Like just totally like, oh, Rambo's a missionary and like and he's protecting missionaries in like some random like Middle East or country or random Vietnamese country, and it's balls to wall action and just like crazy dumb stupid shit. And you watch this one and it has pathos, it has drama to it. You don't expect it whatsoever.
100%. 100%. But we will touch on First Blood in a little bit. I wanted to kick things off with what I saw recently, and to follow up on last week's episode, I watched The Running Man, the new one. I got to see the one with Glenn Powell. Tommy, I believe you saw that movie as well.
Yeah, I saw it like earlier today, so I liked it. I mean, Edgar Wright has not done wrong by me. I mean, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, like Baby Driver, all those movies are just like total rewatchable. Shaun of the Dead's my favorite movie. And I think this one, it's maybe a little step below those movies, still is a lot of fun. And like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was fun. Feel like it was tonally off, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it had this mishmash of trying to be like it's this dystopian future, and then also like putting this like corporate satire on top of it, which they kind of did. Like I really liked the Americano show that showed up that had Debbie Mazar playing like one of the Kardashian women in there, and I, I really liked that like dynamics there, like compared to the original Running Man that didn't have any satire to it at all. I thought it like handled that well, but like then like in the third act, all of a sudden just became like this revolutionary movement, which was not his character at all, Ben Richards' character at all, and it just kind of ended weird. I felt like, uh,
that being said, I did like how the movie ended with a Tom Jones song that should have been like the theme song. Like we missed the days of like we were just talking about Rambo, how that was awful, but it's sometimes great in a movie when like you have a song that totally could have worked. Like remember when Will Smith did like Wild Wild West and Men in
Yeah.
Black?
yeah,
Like that fucking rocked. And this one has a Tom Jones song that was probably from the '60s, but totally works. I'm like, why was this not in the trailer? That would have been perfect for the trailer. And just having like Tom Jones saying like, "Oh, it's the Running Man. You go run and hide." It's fantastic.
no, it was good. I mean, it was good. Glenn Powell's definitely a movie star.
Yeah. I mean, Harrison, what's your temperature on Glenn Powell?
I can't stand the guy. I just he
Mhm.
just has such a punchable face. I just can't with him. I don't know. I
This is
get why people like him, but I also just hate him. I I just do.
I
this is a
just
hot take right here. It's like, well, like in Top Gun, you're like, who the fuck is this douchebag and why is he on screen?
Why are you taking time away from Miles Teller's mustache? I don't know why.
I think Miles Teller's the more punchable of the two of them.
Probably. Miles Teller's been in a lot of good movies.
Yeah,
Glenn
he also
Powell's
was
been in some shit movies.
he's had some fun. I mean, he was in Hitman last year, and I think that like we're starting to get the breakout. And this is like definitely one of his like movie star test moments where it's like, okay, like can you lead an action movie like all by yourself? And
Yeah.
so far, the results are mixed at the box office because it only had 27 million off a $110 million budget. So we'll see. I definitely want to see more of Glenn Powell, the movie star, but maybe audiences are just like, I don't care about the Running Man. We were talking about this last week, Timmy. We were covering the Running Man, the Schwarzenegger one. Where like that's a perfect movie to be remade. Like nobody like
yeah,
really has like any like oh like, the Running Man's sacred. You can't remake that. It's not like E.T. or like Back to the Future.
Mhm.
Like if you remade those movies, people like come out pitchforks. With like the Running Man, it's like yeah sure why not. And this one did it differently enough that like it didn't feel anything like the Schwarzenegger version, other than like the basic backdrop of a game show where people get hunted. Even then, they did it differently than they did in the Schwarzenegger one. So there's a fun time overall.
Oh,
I feel like I
definitely,
didn't
definitely.
see any, like, advertisements for the movie, like, at all
Yeah.
until, like, the last week. I feel like when they have, like, a movie that's made with that much money, it's, like, advertised for weeks beforehand.
It is interesting, like, seeing the temperature because, like, for someone like me who's, like, plugged in online and on Twitter and seeing my algorithm all the time, the Rain Man's coming out, and I go to the movies a lot, it's like the Rain Man. And with Harrison, you don't go to the movies that much, like, almost at all. And so, like,
No,
the
not
only time
really.
you'll see yeah, the only time you'll see the Rain Man in advertisements is, like, if they're showing it before, like, a football game or, like, a basketball
True.
game, and again, like, on ESPN, I see your point, like, they were not showing it that much. It's like, where was the marketing here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if it yeah, and then that's where, like, some of the corporate synergies kinda come in, and I wonder about it too, because, like, if you're watching ESPN for basketball, well, that's owned by Walt Disney Company, so what is the ABC line of the marketing channels that are gonna go through? Because 'Cause they're just gonna be like, "Well, we have all these subsidiary companies that are making these movies. We're only gonna promote these on ESPN. We're not gonna focus on" because this was Paramount, I believe?
Yeah.
Mm.
And what does Paramount have any sports?
They're
Yeah, there's
CBS.
CBS.
CBS, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
So,
again, CBS is only really football or like I don't even think they do hockey or
they
anything,
do
right?
March Madness.
They do March
Yeah,
Madness, yeah.
yeah.
And they do bull riding on Sunday mornings.
I'm
Oh, exciting.
marketing hotspot right there is
I
bull
It's
riding, okay, dude?
gold mine, man. I
When
don't
I
know if you
think
ever tapped into that.
when I think of people who are into dystopian science fiction and people who are into bull riding, it's just one big
One
circle.
It's
circle.
the definition of synergy.
It's the definition of synergy right there.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
advertising shit that be on the ESPN 8 show,
Yeah.
which is a real channel now, apparently. I
Yeah,
found
it
out,
is.
yeah, and they show like stuff like football, roof football,
they
and
show
like they do
air
stuff.
they show air guitar.
Yeah, they're showing land competitions.
That's
That's what
stuff
the other
you
channel's going
watch
on.
when you're high as shit after going out to the bars and you wake up in the morning and be like, "Well, what the hell was I watching?" And it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like I throwing a ball over his house. It's like, "What happened last night?"
The haze, you watch that for like an hour and you're so transfixed and you get really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, like, what was last night? What did I get into?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Rain Man, I mean, I liked it overall. For me, I think it was like somewhere around like 4 5 or 3.5 out of 5. I definitely think that they could have like even amped up a little more, maybe trimmed it a little bit much, a little bit. It would have been like really good. But I think it's an improvement over the Schwarzenegger one, even though you don't have Schwarzenegger doing all those cheesy one-liners he did in the movie.
Cool.
Tommy, is there any other movies that you saw this week?
Okay, so real quick, I watched This Is Spinal Tap with a bunch of friends over the weekend. I haven't seen Spinal Tap in forever, probably like over a decade, and it's just an amazing music mockumentary. Rob Reiner's like one of his greatest movies, and the fact that like at the time it was revolutionary, where like Aerosmith was like watching this movie on their tour bus, being like, "Holy shit, this movie's right about us," and like this is what we do all the time. And you see the through line of like we wouldn't have Pop Star Never Stop Popping, we wouldn't have Walk Hard if it wasn't for Spinal Tap. And Spinal Tap is just great, and check it out if you haven't seen it before, but it always plays well.
It's one of those movies I remember distinctly watching in high school and thinking it
Mm.
was legendary. I remember I even had a fantasy football team called Turn It to 11, and then I made a picture of the amplifier with the 11 on it. But it's been 15 plus
We,
years since I've watched that
we were
type of.
cool kids in high school.
We were cool. We were watching movies from the 80s, okay?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, hey guys, have you seen Spinal Tap? It's like, no, I'm watching like wasn't even popular at the time. Like I'm watching the Hunger Games or some shit.
Yeah.
It's the Hunger Games when we were in college, dude. Or actually, I'm a year older
High
than
School
you guys.
Musical? I mean, that must have came out when we were in middle school at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I never got into High School Musical, so
Oh, yeah, you're too cool for
I
that,
can't.
Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy's too cool for High School Musical. Um,
I was in high school in musicals, so
but not High
That's
School
my boy.
Musical.
yeah.
Harrison, how about you? Any movies you've seen recently?
Okay. I mean, I was texting Tommy, but I was texting Tommy and our other friend Will about this the other week. Um, Once every like 6 months, I'll let my wife like pick like whatever movie she wants to watch. We'll watch that movie.
That's every 6 months. Like,
Well, because it's always a movie I really don't want to watch, and I'm like, she's got really great taste, but sometimes she won't. Like, we all have our movies that we think are good that we know the other person's not gonna like. And we watched Dirty Dancing.
Oh, great
Look,
movie.
I had never seen Dirty Dancing before we saw it, and I had only known Dirty Dancing from the references in the famous line. This movie is ridiculous. I I feel so bad for this dad. Like, he was he was basically berated to go on this vacation by this weird hotel owner who's basically telling his staff to sleep with all the daughters. And then his daughter, like, falls in love with this 35-year-old drifter who can't speak real English. And, like, he's just speaking, like, broken up, like, "I'm a tough guy, I work on cars. I don't know what's going on here." And then he has to hear that this guy has sex with his daughter. My favorite scene of the movie, though, is that he finds out that his daughter's having sex with this guy to make sure that he doesn't go to jail for stealing, and then it pulls to a scene of him just sitting at a lake, and I was like, "I feel for this guy." As a girl's dad, I was like, "This poor son of a bitch. This poor son of a bitch." Like, he just wanted to go on vacation.
Well, this is what I was telling you that like this definitely is a result of like you having like a daughter earlier this year, and now you're a dad and like to a daughter, and like you're totally in dad mode brain where it's just like, Jerry
Probably.
Rock, he's the hero of this movie. Like he's
He
totally
is the
right.
hero of this movie.
Where he's like,
The
well, he does have a part where he's like worried about his daughter hanging out with someone who her friend had to get an abortion. He had to perform an abortion on them. And he's like, yeah, I don't want you hanging out with them. It's like, I can see his point there, maybe.
I see his point completely. And like, oh, thinking the guy who's gonna be a doctor is a good guy. Yeah, if he doesn't know the other facts, that's pretty true. He's not just gonna totally know he's a bad guy. And the last part is the famous line. Was it "No one puts baby in the corner"? Like,
Yeah.
she's watching a presentation. There's a table and 3 chairs. Where else is she gonna sit? Facing the dad? It makes no sense. I'm like, "Yeah, of course she's gonna sit in that spot." I mean, he just also just got up immediately to let her get out and do her provocative dance so that now she like, her dad now loves this guy and understands him. I don't know. It was just the most ridiculous movie to me.
You're just like, what is this bullshit? So like, your wife gets another 6 months from now, she gets to pick another movie.
First one was Sound of Music, and she didn't tell me there was, like, an intermission to the movie, so it
Oh,
was, like,
Sound of Music's
4
great.
hours long, and I was like, "God damn it," like, you could at least warn me about that.
We were floating around covering Sound of Music like back in March, and Timmy was like told me that I had to be on my best behavior and couldn't curse. So it's like, well, we can't do it then.
That's
It's
pretty
not
fair.
gonna happen.
It was a really good movie. I'll give her that. It was a
Sure.
great movie.
It
Yeah.
is it's
Yeah.
a beautiful movie.
It is a
Sound of
beautiful
Music.
I do like this genre of movies I let my wife pick every 6 months.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair. Look, she lets me watch all the sports I wanna watch when it's on. Well, and she'll let me watch basketball every now and then, and she hates basketball. And,
Mm.
we'll watch the movie she wants to watch, like, in a movie she knows that I'm not gonna love. Yeah.
So you did not love
Oh, 0
30.
stars. 0 stars. Awful.
That's in 0 stars, really. Wow,
0
that's not,
stars. I think
you,
it's a bad movie with a weird premise.
you didn't like all the soundtrack. You didn't like Hungry Eyes or anything, or
Oh, it's a good soundtrack. Okay, I'll give him point 5 for the soundtrack.
okay,
Give him that. Yeah.
yeah. And the ultimate
Swayze and
punch-
Jennifer Grey? Like they had crazy connection in that movie.
It just all felt so weird to me. I was just like it's just like, "What is happening here?" This guy's life is around dancing at summer hotels? Like, what's going on?
Do you think if you had seen this movie before you became a father, you would have viewed it differently?
I think if I saw it when I was, like, 17, then yeah, but if I saw it anytime after that, I'd be like, "This is ridiculous." Like, "This guy's a degenerate, he's gotta get his life together." Like, but when you're 17 and everybody's kinda degenerates and you don't really care about what's going on, yeah, it would be a better movie, but I saw it now, and this is my rating now.
now I fucking hate this movie.
Now I hate this guy, and I feel really bad for this dad.
Oh, I told you, and you were like, "How did they do this?" I told you, like, I almost cried at the end of the movie, and you're like, "How did you cry? Like, what was going on
At
with you
what
that
point are
made
you
you cry?"
crying in this movie? I don't understand what you're like, for the dad?
When Patrick Swayze, for the dad, like Jerry R. Black, you just ran your simple vacation. How your teenage jobs ruined it. Oh God, no. I cried. I almost cried at the end when there was like Patrick Swayze saying like nobody puts baby in the corner in the final scene. Just made me so happy. I like almost had happy tears. So
Oh,
I think I
I
gave this
was
movie like I think I gave this movie a 5 out of 5 when we covered the podcast.
I think I gave it like a 4.5 out of 5. I
Oh.
remember loving this
Look,
movie.
sometimes the black sheep is out, I'll be the black sheep.
We should have had you on for the Dirty Dancing episode, so we could have 2 lovers and 1 hater. Be like, fuck this movie.
Fuck this movie. This movie sucks. Jerry Owenbeck. Yeah. The one part I really didn't understand is that in the movie, the hotel owner was just like, "Hey, by the way, all you waiters, please make sure to fuck all the daughters. Like, he basically says that at one point in the scene. He's like, sleep with the daughters. And then he goes over to the table with the dad, Jerry Arbach, and his daughter's like, hey, are you and your kids having a good time? Like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, why is Newman on this fucking island? You don't want Newman at your Catskill resort.
I don't.
If Jurassic Park is any indication, you do not want him near any resort.
That's very true, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, so I watched Dirty Dancing recently.
Okay, so that was why Harrison hates Dirty Dancing.
Why wife won't pick another movie for another 6 months?
It's a catastrophe movie.
She might be on a year after that, okay?
I mean, she's on probation right now. I mean,
super double top secret probation.
She's got to show you like ghosts, like just show you a Patrick Swayze movie every 6 months.
well, she redeems herself with just grade A TV knowledge and grade A TV recommendations. So she always makes up for that. We'll give her that.
All right, good. But this, I'm guessing you didn't make her watch this one. This is First Blood.
He was harassed for no apparent reason. He was arrested for no particular crime. Starting to dislike you. Lot. They thought they'd found an easy mark. They were wrong. Sylvester Stallone. This time he's fighting for his life. First Blood. Rated R. Starts Friday, October 22nd at theaters everywhere.
Okay, this is First Blood, a 1982 American war action film starring Sylvester Stallone as Vietnam War veteran John Rambo. The film was directed by Ted Kotcheff and co-written by Michael Cazal, William Stackheim, and Stallone, based on the 1972 novel First Blood by David Morrell. It is the first installment in the Rambo series. The story follows Rambo, who, after entering a small town and clashing with the police, attempts to survive a manhunt, using his expertise in survival and combat skills. The film co-stars Richard Crenna as Rambo's mentor, Colonel Sam Trotman, and Brian Dennehy as Sheriff Will Teals. I can't remember how to pronounce that one here. But this is Rambo First Blood in the... I always thought it was called Rambo First Blood, but it's not.
It's a weird thing because the sequel is called Rambo First Blood Part 2, which is a dumb name for a sequel.
It's one of the worst names for a sequel. And especially for a sequel that seems to get talked about more than First Blood.
Yeah. I feel like the tone of the second one is how people think the first one was going to be.
That's the one that made it into an 80s cartoon. You know, like if you didn't have First Blood Part 2, well, but again, so stupid. It's such a mouthful also.
So you can't have First Blood twice.
You could just call it like Second Blood. I don't know. Like that's better.
That's
easier. Just right there.
Return of the blood.
Yeah, more blood. Rambo, more blood. Let's go.
Yeah, just a lot more blood.
Yeah. So, but like first watch for me, I knew going in that like this is a movie where like only one guy died, but I almost expect it to be almost more of a drama like throughout the whole movie, rather than it's still having good action moments and still being like a thrilling like one man versus a whole army kind of movie. Granted, this is a bumbling army at this point. And it's funny how incompetent so many of the cops are, especially the National Guard. That one scene, like I love the scene of the National Guard like talking about like going into the mine shaft, and all of them are too big of pussies to go in. He's just fighting back and forth. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, no, it's just part time.
No, like the cap, and like it's funny because like in the military, it's such like an order and structure, and like the commander is trying to command like his troops around, and they're just being like, "No, dude, are you kidding? Like, I have to go work at the store downtown tomorrow. I'm not going in there. Are you crazy?" Like, the National Guard definitely has that reputation. I feel like just because like they're the guys that are here to protect us at home, but I don't know if you've noticed, but America is kind of a tough place to invade. We don't get a ton of coastal invasions. We did in 1812, but that was a long time ago. You know,
that was pretty long ago. Yeah,
that was a long time ago. All right, I think we could see it coming. That was before the invention of radar. So we're not getting troops storming. You know, we're the National Guard is not. It's more like decorum and something that you need to have, but it's all made up of volunteers that like. I think it's like every 3 weeks or something, they have to give up their weekend to do their responsibilities for the National Guard. So, like, the National Guard is not, like it's a tier below the 3 main groups of the military.
That's the funny thing is I had no idea about that until I watched this movie like about a couple hours ago. The National Guard was part-time duty. Just what are we doing here? And this is like just Joe Schmoes, and like I can totally see it though. If I was in that scenario and like I see like this guy like in a fucking like M16 shooting at me and stuff like that, and I'm just like a guy who like usually works at the hardware store down the street. I'm like, I'm done. This is not what I signed up for. I knew that what the National Guard was. I didn't think it was gonna be this intense. Like, count me out.
Yeah, like, I didn't actually join the military. Like, I live at home. I have a dog. Like, I'm not risking my life for this.
Dude, I sleep in a bed next to my wife, okay? I'm not in, like, a latrine in Europe, in, like, bomb-torn Europe in the 1940s, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm not taking out this guy who just killed a fox and ate it in the woods and just came back from Vietnam.
What am I gonna do about this? Like,
What am I gonna do about this?
I barely know how to fire my gun.
I was a backup on the high school football team. Like, what are we talking about?
I only played middle school football. I didn't even make the high school football team, okay?
It's the energy throughout, but it's just so funny that like you have that the National Guard be like the pussies, and you have like the local cops that think that they're gonna be the heroes coming in and like change everything. Brian Dennehy in this movie thinks that he's gonna be the hero. He's gonna fucking shoot him up everything. He's gonna take out fucking Rambo, and he's so over his head he doesn't realize.
Oh, yeah. It just goes so south for him so fast.
Oh, immediately. He's just going in and he's like, all right, what's going on here? And I think that he gives a good performance, Brian Dennehy, because he's a character actor that always pops up. I mean, you said that earlier, like, oh, like Tommy's dad and Tommy Boy,
Yeah.
which is fantastic for him right there. But he in this role, I think was just perfect. Just the perfect, like so realistic as like the small town cop that like just doesn't never has to deal with anything close to fucking like Stallone coming in, a Rambo, like this Vietnam craze vet. He probably just
Oh,
usually
yeah.
deals with like normal homeless guys or just like just shoot
Well,
along.
can I say also the reason Rambo gets arrested is just insane.
Yeah,
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean,
such escalation for no reason. Immediately.
He goes to find his like fallen partner at the beginning. He goes to this house. They're like, oh, he died of cancer, and then it's just Rambo walking through the mountains for like 5 minutes or so, and he's walking towards this town. The cop comes out. You're like, oh, it is Brian Dennehy. You're like, he seems really friendly. He seems like a nice guy, maybe a good cop, you know. And then he's like, hey, can I give you a ride? Where are you heading? It's like south or north. Like he doesn't know exactly where he's going. He's just kind of wandering. He's like, where can I get a bite to eat? That's what Rambo asks him. He goes, there's a diner about 30 miles as he passes like an IHOP and like a diner and like a Dairy Queen sign. Like he just straight down the road. And he starts lecturing him, being like, we don't want your kind here, you vagrants, you disgust.
You
It was,
piece of
he just started
shit.
dressing Rambo down this is where the suspension of disbelief of movies has to come in, because you're like looking at Sylvester Stallone with like his sharp jaw and just like his hair's kind of long and like he just didn't shave for a day.
Yeah, I
You're
know,
like,
right?
Look at look at you ratty Vietnam War vet. It's like, what?
All he wanted to do was bathe him. He kept on talking about bathing this guy in the beginning half of the movie.
Well, they do bathe him.
I know, but he was like really adamant, like he has to be bathed.
Yeah,
This is what makes him civilized.
if you're gonna be homeless, you at least have to be a clean looking homeless guy in my town.
Exactly. But I'm with you, Timmy. It's like he got mad that he wanted to go north, but he wanted him to go south. He drops him in like the woods for some freaking reason, and like his crime was going south. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
He was like, he gets dropped off. He's like, keep going this way and you'll hit Portland. And then Rambo just decides to not go that way and turn around because he was just getting disrespected the entire time. I was just like, I'm going to get a bite to eat in your town, man. Like, I don't know. And he just gets arrested. Straight up just gets arrested. And it's crazy. It's like, what did this guy do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how like even like the cops in the town, like including Brian Dennehy, are just so fucking like mean to him for no reason. Like the one guy, uh, Sergeant Arthur Galt, the one like bald guy who falls out of the helicopter, he's just such a prick to Rambo.
He
He's
he is he is the villain of the movie.
Oh, absolutely, he's the villain of the movie.
and there's a reason why he's the only guy that actually dies because like we like to see him die. We're like, oh, it's like okay, this guy gets his comeuppance for a reason, right here.
Seriously.
It's like, come on. And like in the beginning, he was just immediately abusive to Rambo. It's just like, why are these guys immediately just like fuck this dude? Like, they make you like hate the cops so much. That's perfect when Rambo finally strikes back because there's a version of this movie where the cops are too likable, and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Like the book. This is based on a book called First Blood, obviously. And in the book, Rambo like actually kills like 16 officers or something like that, and I think Stallone wisely was like, maybe we don't have him kill anyone. Like maybe he like accidentally causes one death.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the
Make-
thing here's the thing in the 1980s in America. If you make a movie and you want to kill 16 people, you can set it in Vietnam and you can set it in Russia and you can set it anywhere else in the world
Mhm.
and it's fine. But if you do it against like killing police officers and some media group gets Sylvester Stallone's new movie kills cops and then there's just going to be mass protests against it at the time because like that did happen when like religious groups got hold of movies and that they did not like the messaging of, like they would go hard against them because it was the only place to really channel that energy towards. And you can't kill 16 cops in this
Yeah,
movie.
that's true. I
You
mean,
just
like, if you're
cannot do it.
if you're
Yeah,
killing
yeah,
somebody in the 80s in the US, it was like Red Dawn. You were killing like Russians.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is an era where like a movie like Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is a slasher movie where it's Santa killing people, a guy dressed up as Santa. That movie got pulled from theaters because people protested so much about it. And nowadays, like whatever, it says Killer Santa. Who gives a shit? Let's move on. So with this, I mean, I think there was a lot of changes in the book, but I think for the best. Like there was the alternate ending. We're gonna jump around a little bit, but the alternate ending, they filmed this. It was more faithful to the book that Rambo essentially kills himself at the end.
Oh,
And I watched the alternate ending. And pretty much it plays the same where he does a whole monologue or anything like that. And then instead of just walking out with what's his name?
The
With
Colonel.
the colonel, he instead like tells the colonel, I don't know if I can take this anymore. I can't keep these thoughts out of my head. Then he tells the colonel to kill him. The colonel doesn't kill him, so he takes the trigger, the gun that the colonel was holding, and makes the colonel shoot himself. And Rambo dies right there and just gets blown away. And then the movie ends. Cut the credits. And apparently, when they show out the test audiences, the audiences were like, if the director's in this screen right now, tell him that he can go fuck himself. Like, he should go hang by a lampshade. They hated it. People are like, okay, so maybe we should make it so he lives. And I think that's probably the better choice, at least for Stallone's career.
Well,
Because
yeah, he got 2 more movies out of it. But I feel like the movie's better if Rambo dies.
100%.
I agree. I think that actually would have been a really good ending.
It's a good bookend to it because it's just like, what is this guy going to do? Where's this guy's life going to go? And instead, you have like, he becomes an 80s cartoon after the sequels.
Also, I feel like if this movie's released in the 70s, he's dead for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's 100% the 70s
This
ending.
is before like the 70s is when the corporations started to take over the Hollywood studios and like the old Hollywood system kind of ticked down and you had these communications companies taking over, but they didn't know how to make movies, so they just were like, here you go, directors, like have fun, here's some money. And then the 80s, it's like, oh, like this can, after Star Wars, it's everything in Jaws, it's like, this could be a franchise.
Yeah.
Like, let's not mess that
Yeah.
up. You can't
that.
kill.
There's a chance we can make
can't
$1
kill your
billion
main
off of
character.
this.
Yeah, seriously. Like, this movie made $125 million at the box office on a $15 to $18 million budget.
If he dies, I don't think it makes like half flat. But it's so funny. So Kirk Douglas was the original choice for the Colonel Tarpon, and
for
Kirk
sure.
Douglas, Spartacus, Michael Douglas's son, a famous actor, and in the 80s he had a little bit of a resurgence. And he apparently like wanted script control, and he told Stallone that you should kill Rambo. And Stallone's like, I don't know if we should do that because that would send a wrong message to the Vietnam vets. Like you should just take yourself out. Kirk Douglas like, no, it's the artistic choice. You should do that. And then Kirk Douglas walked. And then they end up going to the ending where he lives. And then apparently, like years later, Kirk Douglas went up to him and was like, "Yeah, it might have been bad for your bank accounts, Stallone, but I still think I was right that you should have had Rambo die in the end. Like, go
I mean,
fuck yourself, Stallone."
he's right for the movie.
Yeah,
For this one movie, it would have been better if he died because that was like a really good monologue by Sylvester Stallone at the end for Rambo.
Mhm.
And it's also really funny watching this movie now after not realizing how much of the lines have been used in popular culture. And like
yeah.
that end monologue was used in Archer. Obviously, Frank Reynolds uses they drew first blood in Always Sunny. Like I didn't realize these lines were like so ubiquitous like with popular culture till seeing this movie.
Oh yeah, it's amazing like how sneakily iconic this movie is. But there is like some things where like it's funny that we went from going to watching a Schwarzenegger movie to a Stallone movie, and
Mhm.
so I'm like I think the difference between the two is Stallone is without a doubt the better actor, but
Without even a
Schwarzenegger,
question.
yeah, without a question, because you can't
Agree with
imagine.
that.
Can you imagine like Schwarzenegger even trying to do this monologue? It would just fuck it up. It would just be too many words. When he gets Stallone to be too
It
wordy,
wasn't my war. Ah, he's just pumping. He's just doing bicep curls during it.
yeah, but the difference is that like Stallone was definitely a better actor, but Schwarzenegger was way better at picking projects. Like, I think
Oh, definitely. He had some banger movies for a long time.
yeah, and like he just knew like what his strengths were, and I think that Stallone like tried to get out of his comfort zone a lot. Where like Stallone would just do shitty comedies or like not as good.
I also think Stallone is just smarter than Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone is smarter than Schwarzenegger, and like he genuinely thinks he's a great actor, so he like wanted to do something other than just like always this action stuff. And
What
it's like,
people forget that like Rocky was like a Best Picture winner.
yeah, and like he wrote it, and
Yeah, he put it, and
like he wrote it, like
It's insane. Like Rocky has so many good scenes too, and like you can if you take out like Schwarzenegger and put Schwarzenegger in that role, like
oh,
you
it
can
seems
imagine like
so weird.
Schwarzenegger trying to talk to Adrian. It's just like what? No, it's Stallone's
What?
more of like the Schwarzenegger's more of like the what's the Ivan Drago type. He'll be good in that
Oh
role.
yeah, I
Well,
remember I did see that like he just finished Rocky 3 before he did First Blood, and, like, his workout regimen for this movie was insane. Like, he would work out, like, twice a day. He would eat, like, something like 2,000 calories a day and then eat 6,000 calories over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Like,
Oh,
whatever you
that's
wanna eat and then do the same thing the next day. It was insane.
yeah, well,
6,000 calories is so much food.
That is
that's
so much
ridiculous.
food. I think he ate something like 1,800 calories, like, on Monday through Friday each day,
What?
which is also nothing.
Yeah,
Uh
How good of a year this was for Stallone. I mean, the fact he had Rocky 3, which Rocky 3 is amazing. It's fucking
It's
fantastic.
it's
so good.
great.
Yeah, Mr. T versus Rocky. I mean, what more do you need? But the fact that this came the same year as Rambo, like that not only did he have like a triumphant entry in his like first franchise, then he just launches a second franchise right there. It's like Stallone's on the top of the world at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So
So
I feel like when I think of Schwarzenegger and if I think of him and he goes, I feel like the only time in this movie where this could have benefited from Arnold Schwarzenegger is Arnold's delivery of "They drew first blood." Like
Yeah.
that's the only time in this movie where I would have been like,
I can imagine it.
that would have been,
Did you first blood?
and then if they tried to have Arnold do the monologue at the end of him
Oh,
like
yeah.
crying and breaking down, uh, I don't know. I think they would have just cut it halfway through and just rolled the credits. Like I
Well,
don't even know how they make it through it.
well, it's like when we were on the Rain Man last week. It's so funny. There's so many like moments in that movie where like they gave Schwarzenegger too many lines. Where it's just like maybe you
Yeah,
cut that down. Maybe you just like cut this one more to his strengths. Maybe he doesn't need to say like all these words at once.
I mean,
Less
his
is better.
most popular movie all time, he has, like, 2 lines in Terminator.
Yeah,
Like, that's
exactly.
his most well-known movie, I would say, probably. He's like, that's
yeah.
it. They're
That
like,
and
"Let's just have him stand there and run, and then just look huge, and then say 3 words."
Yeah, especially in the first one.
what a
Yeah.
what a
And
what a country. You can just be a huge, intimidating looking dude and just get and you could just become the biggest movie star on the planet and end up becoming the governor of California like crazy.
Marrying a Kennedy as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
marry a
Yeah.
Kennedy.
If it wasn't, I always say this, but if it wasn't for the fact that we had the Constitution, you had to be born in the United States, I 100% think Schwarzenegger would have been president at some point. I think that definitely would be the trajectory. Like he would have somehow just gotten there. I don't know much about his policies, but still.
Oh,
So Arnold Schwarzenegger had 16 lines in The Terminator total. Sarah Connor was one of the lines. And that's it.
And when we covered the Terminator, it's so funny. Like he didn't want to say "I'll be back" at first because he was worried about like how that would play if he could say that correctly.
Oh, that's his biggest problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so of the because there's always been this like friendly rivalry between Arnold and Stallone between the two of them. Like, who do you think ended up having the better career, in your opinion? Because I feel like they both had very successful careers.
Well, Schwarzenegger, because also like I think Stallone's peak was maybe like 2 or 3 years before Arnold's ascent. Like
Yeah.
Stallone's peak was probably around like Rocky
This.
Five when he had.
Well, I
he-
think this is his peak with this and
Yeah.
Rocky 3 coming out in the same year. He's not having a better year.
Well, yeah. Because after this, I mean, like he followed this up by directing Staying Alive, which is a terrible sequel to what's it called, Saturday Night Fever. And then he was a Rhinestone, which nobody remembers anymore. And then he followed up with the sequel to Rambo 2, and then Rocky 4. So at that point, then Schwarzenegger takes off. He has Terminator. I feel like when you think of their 90s, Schwarzenegger owned the 90s. He had Terminator 2, he had True Lies, he had like random like good B movies like Eraser and stuff like that.
He had
Whereas,
Kindergarten Cop
Yeah.
in the
and like
90s.
for Stallone, I mean, I know he had like Demolition Man, Cliffhanger, which those two movies like rock, but the majority of his '90s output, other than maybe Copland, kind of sucks, kind of forgettable trash.
Yeah,
And
he
so I
did
think that
2000 other than The Expendables too.
yeah. So I think overall that Stallone he had probably better highs, but Stallone Schwarzenegger was the more consistent one, and I think he had a better career.
I would agree with that.
I would agree with that too. And then having like the writing credit for Rocky, I think will always put him at that higher peak, even if you want to say like, oh, I think Terminator 2 is a better movie than Rocky 1 or whatever. Like-
Well, it's like he got nominated for an Oscar. I know he's for Creed. I think probably for the first Rocky too. But you can't ever imagine Schwarzenegger getting nominated for an Oscar. Can you imagine like what if Schwarzenegger like in the next like 5 years comes off a movie where it's like a drama? He's like a dad taking care of his daughter or something like that, and it's like a lot of pathos, and it ends up being Academy Award winner Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like I can never see that happening.
That is funny. Like that's the new way to get an Oscar. It's like, hey, it's a dad taking care of their kid. Like
I think he had
wow.
I think Schwarzenegger had a movie like that, like 5 or 10 years ago, where it was like his daughter's Abigail Breslin, and she had became infected with the zombie virus when the zombies are a thing.
I think I remember that. That was like that movie came out, and then it was like that's a wrap on Arnold's movie career. Like
Yeah.
that's the nail in the coffin. He gave it one last go, and he just doesn't have that juice anymore. He's not pulling in those audiences.
So
Um,
what would you say was Schwarzenegger's best movie and what was Sylvester Stallone's best movie?
Terminator 2 for Schwarzenegger, and I think for Stallone, it'd probably have to be Rocky, the first Rocky.
The first Rocky.
Yeah.
I like Rocky 4.
Well, here's the thing. Rocky 4, I think, is a more fun movie, and it's more rewatchable. But when I've watched the whole series recently, and like I think that what it is that the first Rocky is a better movie. It has more drama. It has like
It's more
better
character
acting.
development. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But like Rocky 4 is what you want.
On a Friday night, you tell me like, "Hey, you want to throw on a Rocky movie?" I'm probably going to Rocky 4.
I'm going Rocky 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go Rocky 3 or Rocky 4, I think.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
But like Rocky 1, I think is the best movie in the franchise. Like if I had to talk about like the quality of it, maybe not the most rewatchable movie of the
That's fair.
franchise, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the most iconic one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something to bring back to Rambo. There's something that was insane that happened during the filming of this movie. That this is filmed in Canada, like Vancouver or something like that. And apparently during production, they had to import the firearms to Canada because, like, they didn't have the Second Amendment, all that shit. They're not American. They're not American. And
Goddamn right.
yeah, in January 1982, during filming of this movie, $50,000 worth of firearms, including 14 M16s, 3 shotguns, 2 44 Magnums, and 11 Colt A15 rifles were stolen from the set. And Canadian Mounties like fucking freaked out, say like, oh, like these are modified to shoot bullets, but like it needs to be modified to shoot real ammunition. And after that incident on set, the whole entire set for the rest of the movie was guarded by the Canadian Army. So this just to protect the fucking firearms.
That's awesome.
I feel like you could still,
Yeah.
commit a heist against the Canadian Army. No, like,
Yeah.
what are they going to chase you on moose?
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. We're Mounties.
Yeah. But can you just imagine the fuck up where it's like, yeah, like all of our weapons have been stolen from the set.
Is that why they blew up the gun shop? They're like, all right, we can't bring these home, so we're just gonna blow them up here.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's where the rest of the budget went in the firearms.
It's like, fine, if we can't bring them back, we're just gonna blow them up. Which it didn't make any sense to me. I was just like, why didn't you just grab more guns?
Could have
I
easily
don't know.
right there.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of them.
Yeah, and you think that he's gonna take the fight more and more. I mean, there's a point in the movie where like when it crescendos and where he's blowing up everything in the town and he's just like going haywire. He's cutting electricity. He
He's
knows
completely lost his mind at this point.
Lost it.
Yeah.
Just lost it completely.
He's literally 1 second away from shooting Brian Dennehy in the face until like Trotman comes in. It's like, hey, don't do that.
Don't murder him. Okay.
He's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think if I had a criticism of this movie, I feel like Rambo's not in this movie for a lot of the second act. I feel like
Oh, yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot of Dennehy and Trotman just kind of going back and forth, like talking about Rambo, and then we'll cut to like a montage of him like escaping from the cave or something like that. But we're not really getting a whole lot of his perspective in that point. And then we do get his perspective, and it's really great. It's really powerful. And then he just like walks out, and the movie ends. And it was just, it was just like I wanted like this movie's what, an hour 33. It's like it's 90 minutes flat pretty much. Like I wanted more. Like I was like I needed like 5 more minutes.
You could have had a lot more, because apparently the first cut of this movie was like 3 hours or 3.5 hours long.
Jeez.
And
Nice.
Stallone thought the movie was so bad on that first cut that he like wanted to destroy, like purchase the film rights and destroy the print just because he thought it was going to be a career killer for himself.
It's kind
So
of
he's
fair.
like, Tim, to your point earlier of like, the Trotman and Brian Dennehy thing, there's one movie I was thinking of, and I feel like this has become a total action movie trope at this point. But like, it felt so much like John Wick, where like they did so much of this movie of just building this legend, like they do in John Wick, where so many guys talking about, especially Trotman. That's the whole point of the Trotman character, being like, oh yeah, this guy, yeah, he's a lot worse than you think. Yeah, he could kill you all easily, and just build up his legend. It's just like in John Wick when the Russian mobsters like tell him like, oh,
On
you
the
spooked
phone.
yeah, he spooked the Baba Yaga kind of thing. That whole moment.
Yeah, well, and John Wick, the best moment of the first John Wick movie, the moment in that movie where you go, oh, this is different, was when the guy from the mechanic shop caller is like, you rejected my son. He's like, he stole that car. He's like, so it was John Wick's car, and he killed his dog. And the mobster just goes, oh, and hangs up. Like, it's like, yep, get it. Totally get why you didn't want to touch this one.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that Trotman though just makes it great because like everyone's like freaking out. I just love that one line he has. He's like, "Got to make Rambo. I made him," and it's just like how all these like crazy things of like you. I'm almost shocked at this point that Hollywood hasn't like, or Stallone specifically hasn't been like, we need a Rambo prequel of him in Vietnam, just killing everyone and with his whole crew.
I was shocked by that too. I was shocked that like Rambo 3 wasn't like a prequel to go back, because like I feel like I would want to see that. Real, like that's what I would have wanted to see in the 80s as like a
At this
a
point,
sequel.
fuck it. This movie franchise has become just stupid, dumb action movies. So why don't we just make like a Rambo prequel?
Well, they also gave clips. They showed clips of flashbacks of like him getting whipped and him getting like strung up with Vietnam.
was
It's
like those clips weren't like schlocky action though. Those were like real war horror.
intense torture. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
John McCain.
yeah, like he got John McCain. It's like
He
we're just
got-
not going to talk about this anymore.
Exactly. But he pretty much was like a POW and everything like that. And they cut to it. It looks brutal. And like you can totally see the version of it where he goes more into that. And I wonder if the sequels touch upon it at all. But if I remember correctly, like the first sequel is more like he is just like attacking random like Vietnam people or something like that. And then the third one is just like, oh, he's fighting with the Afghan soldiers in Afghanistan against the Russians.
Considerations. Yeah, I mean, it felt like the ending dialogue was like something that like Sylvester Stallone wrote. He's like, let's just get this a little bit of heart and a little bit of like, character rather than me just blowing stuff up constantly. I mean, it was a much bigger dialogue. The monologue at the end, I was like, I did not see that coming. Like him actually having like a voice and speaking it out, like that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, of him like actually like taking all this stuff. But I do think that this movie it speaks to Stallone's like star power that like a lot of this movie is just him by himself running and just like discovering and like looking through stuff, and it's still very compelling. You're not
I
bored.
I bet Tom Cruise used it as inspiration for all his running.
Yeah, exactly. Right there, going in and out. So, but like you can see a lesser version of this, like the more B movie version, where it's just like it's so awful at any time that like Rambo's on screen. It was like, oh god, because this movie like could have been played by a million people. Like they wanted like a lot of people. This movie originally was going to be in the filmed in like the 1970s, early 1970s, before Stallone was even a star. But they Warner Brothers decided to cancel it because like this movie's too close to Vietnam. We don't need it right now. And so many people were thought of like Al Pacino, De Niro, like even Robert Redford at some point, Steve McQueen, and I think a lot of those guys probably would have been fine. Pacino maybe would have been a little too much in it. But Stallone, I think, is just a
I
good
don't.
mix of just.
Early '70s Pacino had it under control, baby.
It's true.
Yeah, I
That's true.
agree with that.
He might be just like a little too short to be Rambo. You know what I mean?
You need like a fucking like mountain of a man, and so did
I,
that.
I don't know if it'd work with like this '70s movie star physique, if that makes sense. Like you kind of just
Yeah,
need
I
John
agree.
Rambo to like have the physique of a superhero, and like Robert De Niro with like no muscle, and you're just like, yeah, this guy. He's in the woods. He's hunting you, and you just see him with like his 1970s noodles arms, like he weighs like 140 pounds. You're just like, I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, straight
I,
out of
I
Serpico. He's just like, what's going on here? And like,
It's like I think Brian Denny could take him in this fight.
yeah,
exactly. Whereas like,
like how's he doing the bust out scene?
yeah, and I feel like that like that's the thing in this casting too is like when you look at all the other cops and you see Stallone, you're just like, yeah, you're like, yeah, Stallone can take all of these guys out in a fight.
I love that the ginger cop that like is like slightly on Stallone's side. That's David Caruso, fucking NCIS himself. Just
Yeah.
young ass David Ginger Caruso.
And then also who was in this was Chris Mulkey was one of the cops who played Ward. He was Hank Jennings in Twin Peaks. I had to just do my little Twin Peaks shout out there. I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
I noticed it instantly.
You need a moment right there.
I needed my David Lynch moment. Okay, Tommy, just let me be.
Yeah, just let you have it. So it was shocking though to think that like a movie like this that was about PTSD ended up grossing so much as it did. Well, granted, it's an exciting movie, but still, you would think that like audiences would have been like, But I guess at this point, the Vietnam War was over for what, like maybe like 6 years, probably. So
Yeah, it had
for a
been
while.
it's still like a recent war for Americans.
but there's enough distance where it wasn't like too much. Where if like they end up filming in the early '70s like they wanted to, the Vietnam War was still going on. That probably wouldn't have been as successful. Audiences might have
No,
rejected it a little more.
this kicks like there's a bunch of you have Apocalypse Now, you have Platoon, like there's a bunch of Vietnam War movies that come out in the wake of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have got washed like left in the wash.
They're a
with
lot
all the
more
other
like
ones.
serious towards the PTSD because they mention it at the beginning and then really mention it at the end and then that's it.
Platoon and Full Metal Jacket, those are I think are another tier above this. But
But they're different movies.
exactly, they're not
Yeah.
aiming for the same thing right there.
Yeah, this isn't meant to be like going up. Also, like, you didn't notice a PTSD movie from the trailer. Like, you thought
Yeah.
this was Sylvester Stallone's gonna blow shit up. Like,
Well, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. When you're going in, and then how's it? Wait, Stallone's actually acting in this one.
yeah. Watching
Is it-
that movie though, like, watching the end part when he's just rampaging through the town, I just kept on thinking like those poor construction guys. They gotta clean all this shit up. Like God, it's like he did. Like they like wake up in the morning and be like, what the fuck? Like,
Hey,
What would you-
there Hey,
Good.
they're union. They're working. They're getting paid.
Were they union back then? Oh, probably were.
They're definitely more
definitely
union back then than they were
way
today,
more
okay?
union than we were now.
I do have to ask this question. So, after his treatment of the whole Rambo situation, do you think that Brian Dennehy still is a sheriff in this town?
No,
Or
No,
chance.
no, absolutely not.
Then, like, you know, dude, you escalated this like way beyond belief. Our town got destroyed because you didn't want this fucking guy to just have dinner or breakfast in here.
Or is it completely swept under the rug? Or is it completely swept under the rug? And no
How
one hears about how it actually happened.
Harrison, the one gas station in town is blown up, okay? Now I gotta drive 40 miles to go get gas, okay?
What?
Okay,
You tell me in that day without Twitter, you couldn't just convince a bunch of people that this random dude just came in and just started shit?
but there was the news reporting about it. Like, there was
That's true.
constant
That's
live
fair.
updates about it. Like, there was
That's
that
fair.
little angle of it, which I don't know why there was that. Like, I kept thinking of Scream, where it's like they really integrated the journalist really well into that movie, where in this one it was just like, it was
Why don't
just
we have a
there to
news
be like,
update?
oh, this is a big manhunt because there's news people here.
Yeah, I also thought like when he warned all the cops in the first like half, he's like, I could have killed you all. I thought that was the end of the movie. At first, I thought like this is it. I'm like, all right, that was really quick.
That was a quick movie. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Wow,
He slits Brad Dennehy's throat, and it's like, okay, movie's over.
Oh, all right. Done. Movie's done. Did you really handle that quickly?
I mean, the you know, we are at the 57-minute mark of this recording here, and the real question is, if we really wanted to, could we talk about Rambo for longer than the runtime of actual Rambo?
Oh, definitely. I could absolutely talk about it.
in there.
We could definitely
Yeah.
get it
Get
in
very
there.
close. Might have to throw a monologue in there.
Just to talk about everything. We can talk about the local politics of the town and where you think Brian Dennehy stands. Do you think Brian Dennehy was there for 10 years?
Do you think he goes? Do you think he goes on trial? Like, do you think that, like, for that much negligence?
It's possible. Do they even have a
Like,
mayor? You never saw the mayor for some reason, which is weird.
yeah, you think the mayor would be involved, and I think that David Caruso definitely would have been a whistleblower and be like, "Hey, this guy like was like a dick to
Oh,
Rambo."
definitely.
Oh,
guy grabbed
he's
my
the
neck.
whistle. Well, he's the whistleblower because he's a little bit slimy. He's got that little bit of, like, he's on Rambo's side a little bit, but then he's also that guy who's like,
A good
if I
point.
get him out of there,
Yeah.
I can be
Is he-
next. I can hold that number one seat.
My whole thing is like, you're telling me in Jaws they had to get a mayor about a shark attack, but yet somebody comes and blows up a town. There's no mayor to talk about it. Like that's just crazy bad politics.
I'm almost like disappointed that Rambo 2 doesn't take place in this same town, and just
Like,
like
we need a flashback to this. Just give us an update. Like where are they?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like in Jaws 2 when you see Jaws 2 and you're like, wait, the mayor is still the mayor in Jaws 2? Like, what's going on here? That's what we need to see. We need to see like I need to see like Brian Dennehy at a bar just distraught, drunk as fuck, and just like he got fired from the force because like everyone's like, yeah, you were a terrible cop. You handled the situation the worst way possible because
What
you.
if-
Oh yeah.
What if they killed? What if they killed Rambo in this one? It still makes like $1 bazillion, and then First Blood Part 2 is just the courtroom drama about Brian Dennehy on trial.
This is the verdict. Yeah. This is all the shit afterwards.
You just make the franchise Brian Dennehy. I imagine like Brian Dennehy on the poster for Rambo 2 of like him like shirtless, but it's all like a flabby middle-aged overweight guy.
And he's just got
Yeah,
he's got like a cop pistol and like a donut. You know,
And
like,
now he's taking on the rest of crime of U.S. He just travels around the U.S. taking on other
and
drifters.
it's just a comedy. It's just
It's
it's
just
just
a
a straight up comedy.
It's actually just Tommy Boy. It's just a prequel to Tommy Boy, actually.
Except him profiling random Vietnam vets and be like, "Hey, get the fuck out of here!" Over
Why
and
don't you
over again.
bathe?
He's at-
exactly.
He's at like a VA center for veterans, being like,
Yeah, he's storing
Get
like
the fuck
bars
outta
of
here.
soap
What are you
at fucking Vietnam vets.
Throwing bars
Like,
of stuff at the VA.
he has a bag of like fucking soap and hitting fucking vets right there.
Oh, that
Over
was
and over
so
again.
funny.
Oh, that should have been the way the franchise would have gone. Kirk Douglas was right.
Oh, that was the best way to do it. That's how you have. That's how
Yeah.
you have sequels. That's how you make a box office thriller. I mean, that's where the be the
Yeah.
Muppet sequel.
yeah, 100% right there. So, and sometimes it's like, oh, come on, like, what's going on?
I know.
So,
all right,
Oh.
Muppet time. Who's the star of the show?
Hey, who's the star?
I'm a star. Big, bright, shining star.
All right, Tommy, who is the star of the movie? Who gave the best performance? Who won the picture? Whatever you want to call this segment.
Yeah. So I mean, even though this is Stallone's movie, and he definitely won the movie, if you want to talk about, because I mean, he created a whole new franchise for himself in the '80s. But I don't think he gave the best performance. I think that like he had a good monologue. I think that Richard Crenna was fantastic as his like mentor or as his like guy who
As the
created him
Colonel.
as Trotman. Yeah, as Colonel, and he just has such a great like ominous thing. And his whole role is essentially deliver exposition, but he delivers in
Yeah.
such a way that's very compelling, and you're not just bored. It's
It's
not just
very
like drunk.
it's very like the start of that trope of just like a stranger showing up and delivering exposition. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, why are you
Yeah.
here?
Where'd you come
Um,
from? How'd you get here?
yeah, I mean Stallone like wins the movie obviously, but like I think it was Brian Dennehy. I loved his
It was
performance.
great too.
I agree.
Like
I'm with
where
you, Timmy.
like I feel like he was like a biased cop, but not like the other cop who was like like he. I don't think he was like that kind of brutal. I think he was just like we've had bad Vietnam vets coming to town. Like I'm just gonna clean this up. Like he just did some profiling. Okay,
He had goodness
he
in
just
his
did some
heart.
casual profiling. All right.
Epidemic of Vietnam vets in this town going to the diner and ordering
This
too much
the
food.
the epidemic of this 500 person Oregon mountain town is just too high. Okay, like. You know how high you got to walk to get to that elevation, son? Okay,
You gotta earn it.
This IHOP can only serve so many Vietnam vets at once, Rambo. You don't get it.
dude, we can only make so many. We can only make so many blizzards at this Dairy Queen. Okay,
And like, what were the odds that it would be a Green Beret? Like 1% of all army people from Vietnam.
There were
Like,
six. There were
less,
six.
probably.
There were six of them. There were
There were
six.
6 of them, and like, and what the one that's still alive goes through the town. What are the odds of that?
Not high. Like you definitely didn't think like. Well, you know what? I feel like if you looked at his jawline, you'd be like, maybe not. You know what I mean? Like
Maybe some
maybe not.
advanced scouting. I mean,
It's a
it's
good
like
jawline.
Yeah,
It's great
it's the problem
jawline.
sometimes when you're watching like a Stallone or Schwarzenegger movie where like they're trying to be a normal guy, and it's just like, oh yeah, this hulking fucking like 6 foot guy and like huge muscles totally blends in. Like what?
Oh yeah, yeah, like Schwarzenegger and Jiggle all the way. Like, dude, you're not just a dad. Like, you're not just
like
a dad in the suburbs.
6'4" bodybuilder who's just like,
What
I'm
are
just
we
trying to
talking
get my
about?
son a toy.
I need the action figure.
Yeah, just totally like, oh, there's Schwarzenegger family right there.
Oh my.
Just wild.
Or Hugh Jackman in Prisoner. What was that Prisoner? What's that movie? Where like
Prisoners,
his kids,
yeah.
Prisoner with his kids taken. Yeah, I'm like, you're not just a normal suburban dad. You can't just do this. It's not fair.
Yeah. This is not fair whatsoever. So, Harrison, who do you think gave the best performance?
I gotta side with Timmy on this one. I think Brian Dennehy definitely gave the best performance. I mean, he had to definitely act the most in the entire movie. And,
Yeah, I think that bar scene between him and Krenna was great.
that was a
Them
great
just
scene.
like, yeah, when they think that Rambo might be dead and he's not even sure.
I
But
wish they had a little bit more of like dialogue between him and Rambo before Rambo took him out in the end. Like,
Mm.
I wish there was like a little bit of like, the trope of like the bad guy and the good guy have a conversation right before the last duel or during the last duel. Like, I wish there was like a little bit of that.
Like a little radio conversation between them.
Yeah.
Like where he like, maybe like a scene where he just tries to talk some sense into him. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah,
he's just like,
exactly.
listen, this is craziness. Like, just come down. Okay. Like nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to die. Like, let's just end this. And then he says like the wrong thing that like sets him off on his
Yeah.
rampage.
well, the thing is,
Exactly.
I think that this is also points towards Brian Dennehy being a terrible sheriff. Is like I don't think he did anything to de-escalate it at that
No
point.
crisis control.
Zero crisis control. Because we didn't talk about the car chase, which was a really wacky car chase.
It
Where
was.
that cop, like, I don't know how the cop car actually kept up with Rambo because that thing was swerving on those roads. Okay, that thing could not keep it straight. It was really lucky that there was a camera there following Rambo, so that way he knew where to go. Then he goes off into the woods, and like Brian Dennehy is like 240, 250 in this movie, like not equipped to be hiking in the sticks, chasing a manhunt. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
then he like calls all his boys off in there. Like this guy's in the woods. We didn't even talk about the climb down where he's like climbing down the
Oh, yeah.
Rambo's climbing down the side and then the helicopter comes in. It's like, where did they get a helicopter that fast, by the way? I didn't
I
know
know,
our
right?
government could move that quick.
What's the budget of this town? Like the town's police force?
Yeah.
Well, you'd call in state police to get
That
that
seems
helicopter.
pretty crazy for a small town.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even before the National Guard's in, there's still, like, a helicopter, there's everything, and, like, these guys are just used to it, like, "Oh, yeah, how often do they need to get a helicopter in this small town?" It's a real question.
The town budget.
Yeah.
No, they call it. I think you would call it the state police. Like they would have that equipment.
Yeah, but it was the town police though called in a helicopter. It had to come from somewhere.
It's the state, I would imagine, because then it became state
Fair.
jurisdiction. I
Fair.
mean, I don't know why they just let this random, like, hateful cop just take a sniper when they're just like, "Hey, we just need you doing spotting duty," and he just has a sniper rifle, and Rambo's just hanging on the side of a cliff, and he's just firing shots at him. Like his
Yeah.
death was so justified.
It's so just but so comical too. It's like all the ways. It's like it's so ridiculous of the way he gets taken out. Is that Rambo throws a rock at him and like he just like falls out. He's like, oh, he's a goofy.
Also, just after he just literally jumped off a side of a mountain and survives. This guy falls out and
Yeah,
dies.
well, hey, the tree, those Pacific Northwest
Trees
trees,
helps.
okay, those are thick
thick.
branches. They help break the fall. Okay, it definitely works like that. He definitely wouldn't have like any broken bones or anything. Just like a little cut on the arm that needed to get sewed. That's it.
I think he
Yeah.
did break his arm, or some man broke his arm.
Oh, he cut his arm at one point, Stallone, and he started sewing up his arm at one point because they show him, and of course they had to have Stallone like he was Blaze fuck right by his biceps so he could show off his biceps during that scene.
We're gonna need you
Filmmaking.
real dehydrated for those arms, Sylvester. Okay, so no water for 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready, comedy partner? Waka waka.
Does First Blood work as a Muppet adaptation? I'm going to just put a hard no on this, but I think we could have the thought exercise.
Okay, so do you keep Stallone as the Muppet as the human?
I kind of just
Is it-
want to see Kermit with like face paint on, you know? and
Yeah, I
just,
think it would
like,
have to be a
I
Kermit.
think a Muppet just want like them trying to somehow marionette like a puppet, like hunting a boar and like doing these like crazy hits on other Muppets and just like having the Muppets go flying could be kind of funny. But again, like I'm kind of putting my foot down assertively on this one where I'm saying like no shot. No shot. This shit working.
Would Miss Piggy be Brian Dennehy?
Also,
Oh, yeah.
there were no women in this movie. I think
I
there was
know.
the actor. There was like the waitress.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was
The
it.
real dudes. This is a great caper for a fucking action movie month. That last movie, Zero Woman.
Zero women. There's like one line of dialogue for women in this movie.
Yeah. But I think that Stallone has been on the Muppet Show before, so I mean, like he's definitely worked with them. He knows what to do, and I think it could be hilarious. You just make
That'd
it
be
there, and
fun.
then the Colonial Tartman is Sam the Eagle, obviously. And there you go. You have a Muppet movie.
to my townie.
Yeah, the Swedish chef is in there for some reason. He's one of the cops for some reason. It's not explaining why he's there.
He's the colonel. He's the colonel explaining.
All right. Review time. Give me.
Yeah, I don't
your
think it would overall work as a Muppet movie.
No, it definitely would not. Review
But it would
time.
be really funny to watch an attempt at it.
I want like the behind the scenes of the attempt at First Blood, the Muppet version that obviously falls to shit, but then they make like they release like a documentary like 6 years later about it, and just like what a nightmare it is. It is behind the scenes.
This is also a franchise that became 80s animated cartoon for kids. So you couldn't Muppetize it. It
I
couldn't
don't.
get in there.
80s cartoons were strictly made for like toy commercials. Okay, so like I
That's so
don't know
true.
if the Muppets is like and 80s cartoons like fall hand in hand.
Well, the Muppet Babies is an 80s cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Got you right
Yeah,
there.
you got one example, Tommy. Way to go, buddy.
That's the one example I needed.
Hey Tommy, we've done like 150 of these things, and this is the first I'm hearing of Muppets Babies, so I don't want to hear it right now. Okay, let's you can take your Muppet Babies and put them where they are, forgotten. Okay, same with Looney Tunes babies and Animaniac babies. You put them where we just pretend it didn't happen. All right, review time. Give me your score out of 5, Tommy Tebbenek.
Okay, so I'll start off. I think this movie is really fun. It was a blast, and it still gives a good monologue at the end for Stallone. So he gives some good acting moments. I think that the whole like nature of like the case and everything like that is doled out really well in terms of information, in terms of exposition, and it really well directed in terms of action, in terms of like like the lighting and cinematography in this. I'm gonna go 4 out of 5. I think it could have used a stronger script, but it's still a fun movie.
Harrison?
I think I would go 4 out of 5 as well. I think exactly for the same reasons that Tommy said. I thought the action was really good. It flowed really well, other than when I thought it almost ended in the middle. But I thought like every character seemed to make sense, and like the whole thing didn't seem like too forced on the same time. But the action didn't seem like too outrageous to a point where I'm like, that's fucking nuts. Um, uh, so yeah, I think I get 4 and 5. Like I definitely want to see Rambo 2 now and see what
Ye-
that's all about. Like, and if I saw this in 1980, whenever it came out, I would be like,
80,
let's go see Rambo 2.
yeah, 1985. So I'm a 3.5 out of 5. Really, really enjoyed this for all the same reasons. Great action. Um, I think my one issue with this movie is just like the timing of that Rambo speech and then the way that it ends with that pop song.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it was just like I'm sitting there and it just like I needed just like a little bit more resolution. Like it didn't even need to be like some more action or acting in the movie. I just needed like a minute of like silence of like Rambo walking through the town in silence,
Yeah,
just
I
like
agree. Needed like a
walking
minute
like
of
something
silence at
like
the
that, just to
end
kind of like
where
sit
you
there
just
and
kind of get to
process what
reflect
had
in
happened.
on, like one more dialogue scene with him talking to the colonel or talking to somebody outside. Like would have
Yeah, yeah,
felt better.
it would have added more
Yeah,
right there.
exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Timmy, on that.
Yeah. So 3.5 out of 5. Like one of the weirder endings I think we've ever covered, where it's like I liked it, but like it was like the climax of the ending happened, and then the movie just ended instead of giving us like that typical like 2 to 3 minute like expose of just like, all right, let's wind this thing down and send you home.
Yeah,
They just send us home without the wind down, and I felt like it was definitely missing after that very emotional speech from Stallone.
that's fair.
But yeah, that is First Blood. Harrison, thank you so much for coming on here. We really enjoyed having you on here. Is there any social media you'd like to plug? Any place people could go and find you?
No. I am dark all over the place. Yeah.
My man Pots and Pans.
Yeah, yeah. On this year, I highly enjoyed this. This was awesome. It's great talking with you guys. Timmy, it's been
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
long.
It's been a
Yeah, I hope
minute.
to be
Yeah.
back again talking about another great movie.
Yeah.
Uh,
You can
yeah.
add them on MySpace.
Find me on MySpace. You want to
Fun, sir.
LinkedIn me? Don't. Uh, just don't
Don't
do
Send him a
that.
that.
send him a bunch of LinkedIn job requests for jobs he's either not qualified for or very overqualified for.
Or
Nothing in
just ones
between.
that would be in this town. I want to be in the Rambo town.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Random Washington town.
Yes. It's a random Washington town or Canada.
All right, Tommy, any final thoughts before we wrap up this episode?
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. You can find us on social media. That is at SCENEIT Pod. That's on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're also on Blue Sky. That's podsceneit.bluesky.social. And leave us a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Helps us out, helps grow the show. So we're ending our action movie month. We covered Aliens. We covered The Rain Man. We covered Rambo, First Blood. Actually, just First Blood. Never gonna remember that. But next month we're going into some good ones. I think that what we should start off with, Tim, I pitched this earlier. I'm going to say it now in the pod. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is celebrating its 25th anniversary next month. I've never seen it.
I've never
It's
seen it either.
yeah, it's an
Well,
iconic
we
movie.
could do that for Action Movie Month.
Yeah, I mean, it fits in. Extend our action movie month by like a week or two.
Yeah,
Because I think we're
because
taking
we
on
have
next week.
we have a bunch of stuff. Like we have like 5 movies that we're talking about for December, so we can maybe squeeze one in next week if possible.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to do a special Thanksgiving episode of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? Very themed,
It's very festive.
very festive, very appropriate.
Oh, that sounds
Very
awesome.
festive.
Yeah,
But
fuck it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
thank you all so much for listening. We will see you next week.